Well, the school year for Binghamton University students is in its final weeks, and that means an annual community initiative is getting ready to return to Broome County. Joining me now in the studio is Chris Harstra and Christina Fuller with the Binghamton Move Out Project. We're not moving in quite yet here. Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so what is, for people who may, the uninitiated, what is the Binghamton Move Out Project?
So the Binghamton Move Out Project is an annual volunteer-run initiative. We are an official project of the Susquehanna group of the Sierra Club. And what we do is we collect items from college students moving out of their college housing, both on and off campus. And we collect those items, we sort them all, and we basically set up like a big thrift store where we invite our donation partners to come in and shop for free. We don't give the items directly out to the community, but we give them to nonprofits, schools, churches, and then they can give them to the people that they work with. And the idea is just to really keep stuff out of the landfill and give back to the community at the same time.
Yeah, and for both of you, why is this something that is so important to you to be involved in?
You know, I see it as like having two big benefits. The first is we're keeping all these things out of the landfill, and that's huge because most of this stuff would have gone into the trash, especially like students are stressed. It's the end of the semester. They don't know what to do with their stuff. They can't fit it all into a Subaru to go home. It was never going to fit, right? So what do they do with it? So we offer an opportunity to donate that stuff instead of throwing it away. So that's the first benefit. And the second is that it goes back into our community. It really supports groups that are doing these grassroots efforts to get this stuff to where it needs to belong.
Yeah, and I know that there is lots of volunteer opportunities available for the community throughout the course of the Move Out Project. If you guys could just speak a little bit about those and how maybe the community can get involved.
So the things that we need help with, it's a big project. It takes place over the course of 1 month, and we're moving a lot of items. Last year we donated over 20,000 pounds of items, so we need people first to go pick up the items from students. For off-campus students, they have pickup appointments and we go to their house and get it. We also need folks to help staff the collection tents on campus. And then one of the biggest jobs and one of the most fun, I would say, is sorting all of the items. It's really fun to see what the students donate. So we need people to receive the items after they're picked up and kind of go through them, weigh them, and set up the thrift store.
Yeah, is there maybe one particular item that either of you have seen in years past that you can point to as being, particularly something that was like, whoa?
I would say probably one year we got this giant teddy bear. The first driver who went to pick it up literally couldn't fit it in his car. So we had to send a separate driver, and it was literally ginormous. And it ended up going into like a children's, a children's doctor's office basically, which is really cool. But that was a fun item.
Yeah, so now that we know that large teddy bears are accepted, what other types of items could, be donated through the initiative?
Sure, so we take pretty much everything. It's easier to list the things that we don't take than the ones we do. We can't take perishable food. Sometimes we'll open up a container and we'll find like yogurt from a week ago in there. That's not good. We can't take any opened food, and we try not to take any bedding as well, just because we don't want to have any like risk of bed bugs coming in. But anything else we can find a home for.
What is the best way for people to reach out to you guys if they see this right now? It's something that sparks their interest and they want to get involved.
Sure. If you go to moveoutproject.org, you can find all of our contact information on there. There's links to our Facebook, our email, and you can just reach out and we'll respond.
And I know you guys have mentioned that instead of, it being a sale for the community, you have different community partners come in. If you could just speak to, what types of different organizations or businesses do come in to have these donations.
Yeah, so we work with over 30 different groups, and it's a lot of nonprofit organizations, schools, churches. One of our biggest partners is the Children's Home of Wyoming Conference. We also work very closely with the American Civic Association, Addiction Center of Broome County, and a lot of like school clothing closets. But it's really cool because the fact that we have so many different donation partners, we really can find a home for pretty much any item that we receive from the students. So, what one organization may not be able to take, another one can. So having that versatility is really great.
And what's the kind of feedback that you hear from these community partners who have participated in the project year after year? What does it mean to them?
So, I mean, from what we hear, it's very popular. People like being able to get stuff that really supports what they're doing in the community. And sometimes it's stuff that like they would otherwise have to spend their limited funding on. So every year our list is growing and growing as to these groups that want to get involved. And we don't turn anybody down. If we can bring you in and help you out, we'll do so.
And I know that 20,000 pounds you guys said was collected last year. Is there a goal this year to maybe want to break that amount? I mean, 20,000 is a lot, but it does kind of seem like, the more the merrier.
Absolutely. We definitely have a goal to break 20,000 this year. I think we're saying 30,000 is our goal.
Absolutely,
Yes.
30,000.
And I'm sure that like mini fridges and stuff like that, that really helps with that number. If anybody does have one of those to leave behind.
Somebody donated literal weights last year. That helped.
Yeah, and for students who are on campus, will they be able to, see these locations, drop-off locations pretty readily with the naked eye as they are moving out on their move-out days? Or what's going to be the best way for them to get their stuff where it may need to be?
Absolutely. So we really try to make donating as easy as possible for our students because, again, we know it's a busy time of year. So there's basically three main ways to donate. The first is we have bins located throughout campus, in every major dining hall, just the hubs of each community on campus. So they can bring those anytime from, I think, the May 5th through the 20th. And then on the three biggest move out days, which is the 14th through the 16th, we'll have outdoor collection points where students can bring their items. And we actually capture a lot of students who didn't even hear about us before that way. So that's really nice. And then the third way, like I had mentioned, is for off-campus students. They can sign up for a pickup request form and we'll send a volunteer directly to their house to get it. So again, we try to make it as easy as possible and all that information is right on our website.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for coming in today to learn a little bit more about everything going on with the Binghamton Move Out Project. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And in case you missed it, the Binghamton Move Out Project collects donations from SUNY Binghamton students to repurpose into the community. You can get in touch with them on ways to get involved by volunteering with the project. Those opportunities will be available May 5th through June 6th. And now we're going to send